As the first two videos did so well for the channel, I thought I'd turn this into a series. However, in today's video I'm going to take a bit of a different route than the first two videos. Instead of looking at the film stock itself, I'm going to be looking at the cameras and equipment you would use when shooting on film, as you sometimes have very different tools. To start, we of course have the camera, and whilst they look kind of similar if we take away the magazine, the internals are obviously completely different. Now, a lot more goes into choosing the best camera for the film, because whilst a camera might have better image quality, you might not be able to record sound next to it, as sometimes they are simply too loud. Now, this is sort of a non-issue nowadays, as we have quieter 35mm cameras that are capable of everything. However, if you are lucky enough to shoot on IMAX, then you really don't have a choice when it comes to dialogue scenes, as you have to do it on something a bit less intense, which is why Nolan is still yet to do a film completely in IMAX.
I wouldn't partner with you. You can take care of yourself, you have no record.
Now, when you choose your camera, you really need to consider what it is you'll mostly be doing, as if it's a lot of handheld shots, or even if it's a lot of different setups on a small crew, you probably want to use something like the LT, which is newer, more efficient, quieter, smaller, over something like a 535B, which can get very big very quickly. When it comes to the magazines, however, it differs from camera to camera, but the sizes usually stay the same. For example, most 16mm magazines are designed for up to 400 feet of film stock. However, if we are talking about normal 35mm film, the magazines usually come in about two sizes, 400 foot and 1000 foot. Now, 400 is usually used for handheld scenes when you need a Steadicam, basically scenarios where you need a lighter load, whereas 1000 foot magazines are there for longer, more static shots. Unless you're Tarantino and need to have 2000 foot long magazines built for your 70mm stock and extra long scenes.
Yeah, I do, Senor Bob. Just seeing if you do.
Now, whilst you don't need as many accessories on these cameras, or at least you didn't before the 21st century, there are still a couple of incredibly important accessories that are almost necessary now. The first being video assist. Now, video assist is basically exactly that. It assists the video that you see on the monitor, because unlike digital, we can't just plug an SDI cable into an analog camera, and instead we need something like Arri's HD IVS, which in very basic terms is a tiny camera that allows you to see what you usually wouldn't be able to see unless you are looking through a viewfinder. Now, before the HD IVS, there was a standard definition version, which whilst you would be able to see the image, it really wasn't that great. Well, by today's standards, as not only was the definition bad, but the dynamic range, colour, noise were all less than ideal. Now, I want to mention this little device, as to newcomers I've seen it cause quite a lot of confusion. However, it's rather simple to explain. Now, what you're seeing is a cine tape measure, but there are many different devices like it. However, this is the most common one. And basically it helps to pull focus. It's a rangefinder that continuously tells you how far away the subject is, and it's pretty much just a step up from the tape measure that they used to use. Now, we've all seen a light meter before, however it's much more important when it comes to shooting analog film, as right now, even though we shouldn't, if it came down to it we could just expose by eye or preferably by false colour. Now, the best way to explain a light meter is that it's a device that measures light, but it will tell you what the right exposure is for the image, giving you a shutter speed, or in cinematography, f-stop optimal for the lighting scenario and film speed. However, I will have a video coming out very soon that fully explains how to use and read a light meter. Apologies for the shorter video today. I've been super busy this week with other projects and grading, but I'm trying to get back on track and do these videos more in advance. However, I'm really averse to taking a week off. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Note if you did, if you have a recommendation for an analysis, leave it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.